everybody. I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report, and I am thrilled to welcome Amber Midthunder to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. Amber, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, you've been busy during the pandemic. I want to hear some of the stuff that you've been up to.
It's funny because I don't feel like anybody really feels like they've been busy in the pandemic, but I guess we're all getting there. I just wrapped a movie called The Wheel that we did. It was an independent film that I also produced, and we did it in the quarantine. We went up in California. We went outside the city, and we found a place where we could get everybody tested, have a quarantine schedule, and then kind of create a bubble. And we shot for a month, and we just finished a couple weeks ago, and I'm really, really proud of it.
Wow. Can you tell us a little bit more about the storyline of it?
Yeah, so it's about a really young couple. Their names are Albie and Walker, and they go off on kind of a weekend thing, a weekend trip to figure out their marriage, and then stuff happens.
Okay, well, what genre would you describe? I know you don't want to give away anything else, but what genre would you put this film in?
I mean, I haven't seen it yet, so it's tough to know. But I mean, when I was reading it, I was thinking it was akin to like something between Blue Valentine and like Before Sunrise. Somewhere between those movies. Yeah, very like it's just a story about like relationships and people.
Well, we will look forward to that, and hopefully we'll be able to see it in a theater, in an audience, and enjoy it together. But if not, we will enjoy it the way we've been enjoying shows like Roswell, New Mexico, which I know you guys, you've wrapped season 2. I wanted to hear about where you think, well, you know what? Let me first ask you, what were some of the highlights of the last season?
I mean, first of all, I'm from New Mexico, and we shoot in my hometown. So that's really, I mean, that's like a given kind of highlight. Like that's the greatest part of it is like I stay with my family. Like I'm close to all these people that I've known since I was a kid, and the Roswell crew has really like, everyone from out of town has integrated well with people that I've known forever. So it's just like a really lovely group of people. And I really had a good time with my storyline this year. It's, Rosa's she's a young self-medicating addict who struggles with mental illness. And so that's a big thing to say. So to do that story, I felt very grateful, and it was very exciting and very stimulating. So just kind of the whole, to really like, to come on to the show full time and be able to really dig into that was, it was a good time.
How do you think it's gonna play out with Rosa's relationship with Max on the show?
With Max, I mean, especially considering where they left off at the end of season 2, I think anything is possible. I feel like, Rosa's relationship with Max has always been kind of what it is. Like, she's not a huge fan. There's a lot, I think, now, like now that he brought her back, and they kind of are the only two people who have this weird bond of like being dead and then coming back to life. So yeah, in a weird way, they're kind of like connected beyond, I think, what either of them really bargained for.
Have you guys, has the company made any production plans to, like, even tentatively to start shooting again for the next season?
Yeah, we're going back in a couple weeks.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we're starting season 3, and same, it's a bigger crew, but same kind of deal. I think everyone right now is just trying to figure out like what is the best way that we can do this and keep everybody safe. And so it's just, they've been working for a while, I think, to make plans and figure out what our system will be. But yeah, I'm excited. We're going back in the next few weeks.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, going back to New Mexico, and I have a New Mexico connection as well, but of course, it offers you the opportunity to be closer to your family. Your dad, David, who's an actor, and your mother, who is a casting director. But what did they instill in you, if anything, really, about the entertainment industry? Did they want you to? I know some showbiz parents do not want their kids in it whatsoever, but I'm curious what it was like for you growing up in that household.
It was interesting because I think for like a long time, I don't think of them as showbiz parents at all. And I don't think that for a long time I really felt like I was like, oh, my parents like had these, jobs and it's glamorous or whatever. Like, I think it was just kind of like, I would go into my mom's office a lot when I was young, and I would watch actors come in and out, and I thought that was really interesting, like the technicality of what they were doing, and the fact that I would like see people come in, and sometimes like this whole really interesting like world would come in with them and leave when they left, and then someone could come in right after them and do the same thing, and it was a totally different experience. Was really interesting to me. And then I would see my dad at work, and like I didn't really connect what he did to what I was like watching on TV. Like, I would be like, there's a lot of people here, and like there's a lot of big machines, and like you're in a weird outfit compared to everyone else. Like, what's that about? That's like, of course, when I was really little. And then as I got older, it was just kind of like they just let me, they were very supportive either way. Like, they were very just kind of like, if you want to, then we'll help you, but if you don't want to, like, then be a school teacher. They didn't really, they they were very supportive whatever I did. So it was nice that way. And now it's nice that we get to share our jobs and what we do and talk about it, and we can all relate to each other.
Well, you and your dad have worked together on screen a couple times, correct?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought you had. Oh my gosh.
I don't think we have, unless I'm forgetting. I don't think we have though.
Maybe it's just a thought that I had that you guys should work together.
We should. I would love that. I really would love that. I think that would be so cool. Well, because of course, like, we do, like, of course, whenever we have audition tapes, if I'm home, like, we help each other. So it's not like we've never acted together before, but I would love to, like, be able to actually work with him. I think that would be so cool.
Okay, let's talk him into it.
Okay, deal.
Let's get a great project for you guys.
Let's do it. I'm in.
Well, I want to talk about another one of your roles that's really been incredible, and that was on FX's Legion. And on that show, you worked with some of TV's really brightest lights, including showrunner Noah Hawley and the X-Men Brain Trust in general. So what was that experience like for you?
Gosh, I mean, hard to sum up. It was really, it was like, that was my first experience of really coming on to something for a long time. And to step into that environment was like, it's your dream job. Like, it was truly, I could not have like thought of anything better. I could not have like made up in my brain, imagined something that would be that good. Like, just everybody was like really, first of all, very like well-natured, just like good people. Just like nice to be around, nice to talk to. And really great at their jobs, like, it was very like, we all had kind of the same goal, but we're very different, and really like fed each other creatively. I felt was very like, it was a very rich environment. And everyone was just so like really cool, really smart, really great at what they did. And that's like, that experience is something that has shaped who I am as a person, as a creative. And that's going to be like I think one of my big foundations for the rest of my life and my career.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to top that. And I know it was an incredible cast, but there's one person in particular that had a special place in my heart, and that's Dan Stevens because of his role on Downton Abbey. So, what about you?
What about me?
Yeah, no, and your thoughts on Dan Stevens, like were people still talking to him about it when you guys were shooting
Um,
or
yeah,
not
I
really?
mean, of course, it came up, a bit. I've never watched Downton Abbey.
I
Um,
know what you're gonna say, Amber.
I didn't know. But yeah, I mean, Dan is like stupid talented. Like he's like frustratingly talented. He's one of those people that you meet and you're like, why are you so great? Um, but yeah, I mean, that's a great example because just everybody there, like nobody was lacking in anything, especially Dan as an actor and he's fine as a person. I'm kidding, he's great.
Okay, we could keep it a secret if you weren't inspired to go back and watch Downton Abbey after that. But I do recommend.
I just didn't. I've just never. I mean, now that it's the quarantine, I have time. But before that, I had never. That kind of Renaissance or whatever time period that is. I've never really watched shows in that time period. But for Dan, I would.
Yeah, well, I think he got, this is no spoiler, but he got killed off pretty early on. So I think it was with before season 2 ended. So you could.
I heard he died. I had heard that.
Oh yeah, it was big. It was a big deal. So anyway,
Right.
I recommend it. We're all finding new shows, like stuff that's on our to watch list, and it's been, to me, that's been one of the kind of silver linings, if you will, during this pandemic is more viewing time. I mean, we don't have travel time anymore, really. Drive time, like all that time we spent doing those things, like some of that can now be put into, oh, I always wanted to see, Legion or Roswell, New Mexico. But has that happened? And also with movies, like there's some movies it's like, oh, I've always wanted to see whatever movie, and I've caught up on a couple of films as well. So what about you? Have you developed any new binging favorites during this time?
Oh, I mean, I feel like I've gone through so many incarnations of like who I am as a viewer in the quarantine now at this point. I figured out I think that we've all learned like the ability to devour an entire series is unparalleled, that we just have as people. But yeah, I mean, I started Succession. I had never seen it on HBO. Was like so good. And I just had never watched it, and then that was one that I think I finished in like a week or less. Um, the show Upload on Prime, with Robbie Amell, that one was really great. That I really liked too. Very entertaining, very interesting. And I've also been into like there are some funny like Friends. I'm a big fan of always. And then things like 90 Day Fiance, like I'm a big just for like trash TV. Like I love myself some 90 Day Fiance. I really do.
I know, it's like everything's fair game. There's no judgments anymore. Like shows like that used to be called guilty pleasures,
Yeah.
and I think they should just now be called pleasures, don't you?
They're just, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'll claim that. I got no shame. I love it. But it's all got its specific, I think it's got its place.
Now, one thing I did, and I recommend this, but you know how The Godfather is so iconic in pop culture and people quote from it in other shows and in real life? I decided to go back and watch Godfather 1, 2, and 3 about a month ago.
That's
And
cool.
the first one, I looked at it, I go, oh my God, I forgot it was 3 hours long. Like, and they're all 3 hours. So that's 9 hours. So what I did is I split them into two. So, I'd have like intermission, but till the next night. Because
Oh,
everybody has their own thing, but I only like to view stuff late at night. Like I can't watch stuff during the day, like when the
yeah.
sun's up. So anyway, it was a great experience. I was like, oh my gosh, I'd forgotten how brilliant these movies were. So
Yeah.
it was really fun. So that's one of my, but mostly I've been doing TV shows.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I have a friend who did the entire Harry Potter series.
Oh,
I think for the first, and like I know people who are doing like they started Star Wars from the beginning, and like either doing all the, I think and like Avenger, like there are a lot of good ones too. To like the X-Men, you could do that like the whole series.
okay. So I'll confess another, and I don't even want to say it's a guilty pleasure. So you've told me some of yours. I went back and watched all of Sex in the City.
I love that. You know who actually did that before the quarantine? Is Janine Mason, my sister from Roswell. She started it from the beginning.
You know, half-hour comedies go by so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, they're really easy to binge. But when I tell you something, it was 6 seasons, and when I got to the end, which was just very recently, I was really sad. So that's the only problem with binging is when you're done. I don't know if this happens to you. You get sad. It's like, oh no, I finished that.
Yeah, I did that with How I Met Your Mother, and I did that with Friends. A couple times, like watched it beginning to end. I think I did it like I think last year sometime, and I figured out that I was like, I don't think I like doing those shows front to back because then you have to like because then you go through that where you're like it's over. Like what do I do? What do I do with myself? Where do I go?
Well, pretty soon we're going to have the a new Friends reunion. That'll be fun. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think that one got pushed because of the quarantine also, but hopefully.
Yeah, everything's gotten pushed. But one thing that hasn't gotten pushed is happy hour every day at about 5 o'clock wherever in the world, or up until midnight if you want. So, Amber, I want to propose a toast to you, to all your new projects, to going back to a safe set with all of your great cast and crewmates. And I want to thank you so much for taking time out to be on my show.
Thank you. I'll toast you with my big water bottle.
Cheers, and I hope to see you in person soon.
Cheers. Oh, thank you. Same to you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.